Yo, welcome to the IRTC, the I Run This City podcast. My name is Pareo, Pareo. I'm the podcast MC. Just a quick reminder, go check me out on Instagram at Pareo333. My Facebook page at Pareo333. And also the website, Pareo333.com. This is episode number 27, Performance, Recovery, and Fuel. And in doing this, as I began to do this, my main focus was for runners. But then you realize that performance, recovery, and fuel is good for life and sport. I mean, I knew that, right? Let's define performance in the athletic sense. It is the execution of specific physical routines or acts by an athlete while participating in a sport or activity. And while doing this, I found that a lot of things. There's a lot of things that performance in sport have in common with general performance in life. So I put together a list of things. That are necessary to perform well every single day. And again, this list can go toward sports or it could go toward just regular everyday life. And I'll start with the first thing that I came across in doing my research was sleep. And we know about sleep because the last podcast that I did, the last podcast that I did was sleep and chasing the unicorn. And of course, the reason for that podcast was to stress the importance of getting the proper rest, because I wasn't getting the proper rest, or I didn't, at least for that 1 week, that week what I was talking about. I didn't get the proper rest, and I felt it in the training. So let me do this. Early to bed, early to rise. Your mind and body need rest. Get enough sleep at night so that you'll have the energy and willpower to get up and get things done. That's one thing that I wrote down in doing the research. And as you can tell by that statement, that can be applied to sport or life. Now, it definitely applies to a runner. I'm going to read it again. Your mind and body needs rest. Get enough sleep at night so that you have the energy and willpower to get up and get things done. For example, on Friday, I'm at the point in my training where the runs are 15 to 20 miles long. So without the proper rest, that's going to be a disaster. That's going to be a very, very, very tough assignment. So, in performance, one of the main components of being able to perform, and if you're not an athlete, and you have and you're a responsible adult. You have a job, maybe you have a family, maybe you have two jobs, maybe you have extracurricular activity, maybe you go to school after work. You know, adults, or not even adults, just responsible people have high activity, action packed days. That's a performance. So anyone who has things to do throughout the course of the day, that is, I would call that a performance. I'm going to put that in the category of performing, because you need all of the energy that you can muster up, sustainable energy, to get through those action-packed days. Even if you're not in sport, you're gonna need the energy to get through those action-packed days. Now, in sport, it's obvious that you need that energy. So, getting proper rest. I cannot stress that enough, which is why it comes up yet again. And doing the research for this, I wasn't looking. I had no, I didn't know that it was going to come up again. It's just so important that here it is again. So early to bed, early to rise. Another thing on the list of performance: exercise and eating healthy. Exercise and eating healthy. A person asked me, how do you have so much energy? How do you have so much energy to do all these things? And my answer to her was, you have to use energy to get energy. You take care of your body, be active, use your body, eat healthy, and exercise. That's how you get energy. There used to be a commercial, and the commercial said, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe I'm paraphrasing here, it said, a body in motion stays in motion. It said, a body at rest stays at rest, but a body in motion stays in motion. That's real. That's absolutely 100% correct. If you are an inactive person, then it's more difficult to muster up energy to do things, because you're inactive, and your mind and your body and everything says to sit down and to do nothing. But if you're an active person, it's no problem to sustain energy enough to at least do the activities that you are accustomed to doing on a regular basis. And that could be running a 20-mile run, or a 2-mile run, or walking, or whatever the case may be, riding a bike, skateboard, I don't know, some sort of activity. Your body gets accustomed to it, and it's no problem to get those things done. Muscle memory, kind of, sort of. But if you're not, then you know your body is still stiff, and that's how it is accustomed to being, and that's how it's going to be. So exercise and eat healthy was another characteristic of and another thing to do in order to enhance performance. Sleep, rest, exercise, and eating healthy all or both contribute to essentially a healthy lifestyle. Meditation. This is another one that I have on the list of things that needs to be done in order to live a healthy lifestyle. And that's another thing that I found a few things in common with my own personal list. But meditation was another thing. Meditation to me is something like this. The way I explain it is like this. When you get up in the morning, when a person gets up in the morning and they open their front door to leave, you're dressed, you're ready for work or school or whatever you do, and you open your front door, and at your front door there's tall weeds Every single day, there's tall weeds that represents the world. So you have to dig through these weeds and dig through all this stuff in order to get through the day. And you'll do it. You'll be fine. But if you meditate, you open your door. Those weeds are still there, but there's a path. There's a path for you to walk. You don't have to fight the weeds. You don't have to go, wrestle with the weeds. You can just walk on your path. That's what meditation does. It allows you to simply walk. Just walk your path. Take your path. It's already there for you. It's like a clear mind. Without the meditation, there's no clear mind. With the meditation, there's a clear mind. So meditation and getting that headspace and getting your mind right, ready for the day. It also reserves energy and increases performance because you're ready. You're ready mentally to get through the day. So again, you open the door. You're gonna have to struggle and fight to get through the day anyway. Meditate, and the path is there for you. Clearly, you just walk the path. The weeds are still there, but you don't have to worry about them because you've cleared your mind. You've got that headspace, and this is what meditation. This is how meditation enhances performance. It's not as much of a struggle as it would be in the event that you don't meditate. So another very important one. They're all important, but if you notice again, they're all you can apply each one. So far you can apply it to sport and life. You almost have to apply it to sport. If you want to maximize your performance, you almost have to apply it to sport. Same thing applies to life. If you want to maximize your performance every single day, then apply some of the principles that I'm talking about. The next one that I pulled off of a list, and a huge list it was. This was a big list. I didn't get every single one, but I pulled off what I felt like were the most important ones. And the fourth one I think this is working hard. So, I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer, but this is also going to improve your performance. And that's whether you're at work, you're at home, you're in sport, whatever the case may be. Fulfill your responsibilities and do what needs to get done, and do it correctly, do it right. A job well done is a great way to lift. It's a great way to lift your spirits. I mean, just as a confidence builder. Just as a confidence builder. I can speak to being out and training for a race. A matter of fact, I'm currently training for Wasatch, Utah. Revel Wasatch out in Utah. And you race like you train. So if you are training, okay, if you're training and you're working hard and you're doing things the right way, that's going to show when it's time to run, when it's time to run the race. If you're cutting corners, if you're constantly missing workouts, sometimes you may have to miss a workout, sometimes, or whatever the case may be, you may have to make it up if that's possible. A lot of the times they don't, coaches and those folks that write training programs out, they don't necessarily want you to make up a workout that you may have missed. They don't want you to make it up. They would prefer you just move on. But sometimes you can adjust. Sometimes you can adjust your program where you may have a scheduled run for Wednesday and then a day off on Thursday. Well, if you take the day off on Wednesday, you can do that scheduled workout on Thursday that you had for Wednesday. It's just one day apart. and you'll be fine. It kind of balances off. In any event, whenever you get to it, work hard at it, because that's how you're gonna perform. That's how you're gonna race. So it's the same thing. Again, sport and life. Whatever you're working on, whether it be at work, whether it be at home, personal projects, whatever the case may be, to work hard is to establish. It's to establish that ethic, that work ethic, that you're it's going to establish that work ethic. So the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. That's how I see it. You know, I go to work, I work hard. I go train, I work hard. I'm at home. If I'm reading a book, I'm taking notes. If I'm doing homework, I'm diligent in doing that. Work hard at everything you do. Relationships, even. Work hard on your relationships. Take them seriously, and you'll see how working hard at relationships enhances your relationships with people around you. It allows you to see who's not working hard at relationships, and you may want to make some changes there. You may want to, take that relationship down a notch or take it up a notch or whatever the case may be. Working hard at it allows you to get it done, and to get it done correctly, and to also see who's not. So it's a window, and it's a window for you, and it's a window for those around you. Because if you're working hard, it's going to be very easy to see who's not working hard around you in different situations. But again, just to bring it back to sport, the way you train is the way you race. So work hard in the training, and it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off on race day as well. See failures and weaknesses as opportunities to improve. See failures and weaknesses as an opportunity to improve. Again, this applies to life and sport. Once again, just like working hard, when again, I'll use marathon training because I'm training for a marathon, and sometimes I don't do exactly how I want to do during the training, and I'm not going to use the word failure, because that, these days you use that word and people say, no, you don't fail, you learn. Okay, so sometimes I don't perform in training how I want to, and I'm working hard, and sometimes I still don't get it. Sometimes it still don't happen. You work hard and it still doesn't happen. But what does happen, it gives you the opportunity to see where you need to improve, and then you can take those opportunities to improve. You take those opportunities to improve. So if you're training and you're working really hard and you're still coming up short, you're still not getting done exactly what you need to get done, that's fine. But now you have the opportunity to tweak something here or tweak something there, and to get a different outcome the next time that comes around, because you'll have another opportunity to do better in that particular area. So when you find a flaw or a weakness in yourself that you aren't happy with, then look at that as a chance to improve, to become a better you in that area. And remember, that doesn't mean you have to change or become someone else. It just means you have the opportunity to improve in this area now that you have recognized that you're weak, or that this is an area where you need to where you need to improve. And that's a really good transition into the next one. Set and accomplish goals. Not just overall goals. I mean, you want to do that. You go in setting goals. You want to have levels. In setting goals, you want to have levels. I think that goal setting is something that we should do in order to win. Right? You set goals in the beginning. A goal should be smaller goals should lead up to bigger outcomes and bigger goals. What do I mean by that? For example, when I began my particular journey as it pertains to fitness and mental health and eating right, having a proper diet and so on and so forth. One of the first goals that I set was to walk 1 mile a day for 90 days. Now, that's a very easy goal. It's just a matter of doing it. It's just a matter of walking 1 mile a day when you don't have to. But if you do, that's a win. So you dominate that goal. You set a goal and you accomplish the goal. And that's going to allow you to get a win. You become more confident. When you accomplish any goal, it will give you confidence. It doesn't matter how big or how small the goal is. That's why it's important to start with small goals, because it's especially the best thing to do in the beginning, because in the beginning, if you don't hit goals a lot of the time, what happens is a person could become discouraged. A person could become discouraged and they won't continue on that particular mission or that particular journey. But if you set your goals where you can overachieve, you get that confidence, and then you move up a little bit more, and the next thing you know, by small incremental steps, you have accomplished and produced some serious results. So set and accomplish goals. Everyone is happy when they accomplish a long-awaited goal or dream. Be active in goal setting. Be realistic in your expectations. Small goals first. Realistic in your expectations. Big goals in the beginning are a trap. For a letdown. You'll let yourself down. So be realistic in your expectations and work hard to make things happen. So working hard in a goal that's small, you can say working hard in a goal that's small is actually doing the goal. It's actually doing it. You set a goal. It's a small goal, and it seems like it seems easy. The only difficult thing is about the goal is that you have to do it. You actually have to complete the goal. So it's not easy to do that. It's easier said than done in a lot of cases. So set small goals and actually do it. That's the execution part of it. Actually do it. So set and accomplish goals. Express gratitude. This one is forgotten. This one is forgotten. A lot of people don't really think about this one. This one is forgotten, but a simple thank you can go a long way. When you look for opportunities to express gratitude throughout the day, you will find them. You will see the good in people around you and the willingness they have to help others. So I'll say this is a small step in the right direction toward expressing gratitude. Let's say, for example, waking up in the morning. When I wake up in the morning and I open my eyes, the first thing I say is thank you, God, for waking me up this morning and allowing me to participate in the day. A simple thank you would be enough. That's showing gratitude. That's showing gratitude. That's a small thing to do. First thing in the morning is to be appreciative that you even woke up. That's a good starting place. You can start there. This will allow you to, or no, not allow. This will help you to begin to notice other places other areas where you can show gratitude and be thankful, and be thankful for people in your life, people around you, people that are on your journey with you, that you may not think about it that way, but once you start showing that gratitude and saying thank you to God, you'll start seeking out other areas just to thank people and just to show your appreciation to those that are supporting you. You'll begin to see things that in that area that you would not have normally seen, and this is going to help you be more appreciative of the work you're putting in. It's going to help your performance in that everything, every little thing helps. Everywhere where you can get some enhancement, it helps. So working hard and setting those goals, and going to bed early, exercising and eating healthy, to meditate, seeing the failures and the weaknesses and improving upon them. All these things are going to be huge in allowing you to perform better at your chosen activity every day, in everyday life, and especially as a runner at the marathon distance. You will need every single edge that you can muster to enhance and do a better job and perform better on a regular basis. So performance. Next principle, I'll call it, is recovery. What is recovery? Recovery is the recovery principle dictates the athlete's need of adequate time to recuperate from training and competition. The recovery principle dictates the athlete's need of adequate time to recuperate from training and competition. So recovery happens again in both life and sport. It happens in both life and sport. So a person can recover in many ways. There's a lot of different ways in which runners recover. Again, I'm going to kind of keep this list on recovering as an athlete, and you can also use these same techniques, or some of them, these same techniques in just everyday life. Recovery here, I'll separate the two by verbally saying it. So let's start out with a cool down phase after every workout. So generally, a workout is 30 A workout starts with a warm up for a runner. It starts with the warm up and it ends with the cool down. So, for example, you may be instructed to do a 15 to 20 minute warm up before you get into your actual training session at an easy pace. And then you do your training session. And then after that training session is done, you'll do a 15 to 20 minute cool down again at an easy pace. So immediately after you've trained and you've gone pretty hard, after that workout, the cool down phase is simply to slow down and to recover with the slow cool down phase. So right away, the first thing most runners do in recovery is a slow cool down phase after the workout. I guess an equivalent to that in life would be, for example, you work hard, you're at work, you work hard depending on what you do. Maybe you have a physical job, so you'll go home and you will have a seat. Sit down, have a big glass of water or something to that effect. Just have a seat and relax for a few minutes. That will be considered a cool down. If you work a physical job, that would be considered a cool down. Number two, and this is in reference to runners because you sweat a lot, change out of your wet clothes. That to me, I put that one because you don't want to get sick. So you don't want to get sick with the wet clothes on, There's another one on here that kind of coincides with that one, and we'll get to it. But you want to change out of the wet clothes just to get more comfortable. It just makes you feel a little better, a lot better actually, and you don't want to get sinuses or get a cold or something like that, with the wet clothes on. So have a change of clothes, put some dry clothes on. It just helps. It just feels better, feels less, I don't know, nasty. Bring a towel or mat with you if you want to stretch out, lay down and do some things on the ground, which is also a part of recovery. I would say mostly for runners. You want to stretch after the run, and again that's coming up as well. This next one is pretty big. This one is huge. After the run, plan your post-run nutrition and hydration. That's huge. The fuel part of this is it's more extensive than the performance and the recovery. Although I think, and I heard someone say, I don't remember where, that you can only perform as good as you can recover. I think recovery is huge. I do. I think recovery is huge, but I think fuel I think fuel maybe trumps everything, because I just think it does. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but anyway, plan your post-run nutrition and hydration. You don't want, after a run, I'll use myself for an example. So if I don't have something prepared for myself after a run, I run a lot, and most of the time I'm going to have something prepared to eat and drink after I'm done. I'm going to have whatever it is, a big container of water. A lot of the times after my runs, I have a big green salad, to replenish a lot of the things that I've lost during that run. So a lot of I do that a lot. Water and a salad. Now, if there's times, and there has been, when I don't have a salad prepared, and I come in from a long run or a medium run or a fast run or whatever the case may be, and I'm hungry, I need something to eat. If there's not something there to, so that because I probably wouldn't want to, and in these times, I don't want to make something. It's going to take another 15, 20, 30 minutes or whatever. So you go in your cabinets or your pantries or whatever you keep your food at, and you grab something to eat really quickly, and it may not be the best thing. And this is what happens when you're not prepared, when you don't know, when you haven't planned your post-run nutrition and hydration. I mean, it's easy just to grab some water. Yes, it is. But when you eat something that is off script, maybe you don't get water with that. You may have sodas in your fridge. I don't, but a person may have sodas in their fridge, and instead of drinking some water, they'll grab a bag of chips. And truth be told, I've done that. I've came in from a run, didn't have anything prepared, so I'll grab some chips. Now normally I'll have Gatorade or something in my fridge. I don't drink a lot of things outside of Gatorade and water, to be honest with you. From time to time, I'll have some sort of juice, but juice in 2021 is so heavy with sugar and a whole bunch of different things. I do try to stay away from sugary beverages. My beverage in that sense is Gatorade. I know Gatorade has probably too much sugar in it. I'm not real sure, but it also has other things in it that do help. So I'll have chips and a bottle of Gatorade. I've done that. So plan your post-run nutrition and hydration, and this is the best way to recover properly. That's the best way to recover properly. Take a look at your training plan. To make sure that you're on pace, to make sure that you're doing what it is you're supposed to be doing. You're not wasting time. You can kind of fix some things, recognize some things, check your training paces against what you actually did. Look at your stats. A lot of us have Strava, for example. Me on Strava, I'm Perio333, so feel free to go and follow me on Strava to see all my workouts, and consider the weather. If it's super hot, gets hot in Vegas. If it's super hot, then up your water intake, because you're gonna need it. You could dehydrate if not, or whatever the case may be. Just consider the weather anytime, and this is also going to play a part in your recovery. Hydrating is huge. I'm constantly drinking water. The first thing I do every morning is have water. I have a really high grade of salt that I use in my water, and lemon juice. So every day I use this same recipe every single morning of my life. This starts my hydration. I always have water with meals. If I have a meal, I don't drink like soda or tea or anything. I drink water with lemon with all meals. Maybe coffee sometime also in the morning, but water with all meals. And again, what to eat after the run. I'm gonna get to fuel, but that is a part of recovery. I'll just say that right now. That's a part of recovery is what you eat after the run, and how good it is for you in your body or whatnot. Stretching is good after the run. It's better after the run. Been I've been told. I've been told. You hear a lot on this particular thing, whether it's best to stretch before the run or after the run. A lot of the time, people say after the run. I stretch not necessarily before the run. I just stretch every day. As a stretch routine, I use it every day, and then after the run, I have began to stretch and do some basic stretches after the run. I'm still getting up to speed in that area. I'm not like very good at, very disciplined in that area. That's something that I'm having to work on, and I'm working on it. But stretching is definitely good after the run as a part of recovery. Ice bath after or as a part of recovery is absolutely miserable, but it's worth it. It's like a cure-all. It's absolutely worth it to do an ice bath from time to time as a part of your recovery. It's just going to make you feel that much better. So if you're not doing ice baths, I would suggest at least once a month, maybe after a tough one, after a tough run, after a tough workout, after a tough practice. Man, it gets rid of the aches and the pains that you may have. If you're not injured, you may just be hurting. It'll sometimes completely get rid of that type of pain, and also be a huge aid in helping you get better altogether, helping you overcome injury altogether. It will absolutely do that. So ice baths are miserable when you're doing it, but after it's done, you'll realize how worth it was. Eat a well-balanced meal 1 to 2 hours after the run. Again, a part of recovery. But we're gonna get to fuel, but it keeps popping up. And this is my list is based off of a couple of different lists, and the things that keep popping up. It just means that they are necessary because more than one person, more than one athlete, more than one athletic publication felt like or feels like or have tested in some kind of way that eating a well-balanced meal an hour or two after the run is a necessary part of recovery. So, that's one to keep in mind as well. Taking a nap or getting a massage, which is, I don't know, like a luxury. Everybody can't do that. I realize that, but it's just it is another part of recovery. I mean, if you can do that, it will help. It will help. So, and we can all take a nap. But the massage part, it absolutely helps. It loosens you up. It can do some it could do some real good for a runner or someone who is going through some hardcore training or practices or workouts or whatever the case may be. And then a warm bath with Epsom salt. I'm completely guilty of this. The warm bath with Epsom salt. That's huge for me. Pretty big deal on that one. I always do that. I do that a lot. And I can say, I don't know what it is about Epsom salt. I have no idea why it's so effective. I don't know. I think it's like the other side of ice bath. I think it's the other side of an ice bath. Sometimes I'll even do an ice bath and then do a contrast with an Epsom salt bath as well. So you do the ice bath and then you do an Epsom salt bath. It's like a contrast bath. And when I was younger, I hurt my Achilles, and I would do an ice bath and a warm bath. It wasn't Epsom salt in there, but I used to do that when I got hurt. I was injured out. For about 2 months, it was pretty bad. When you hurt your Achilles, it's awful. It's terrible. So that was something that I did in the past, and it's something that I kind of revived and used the Epsom salts for that. And it works. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't get it. Actually, I don't even get it. I really don't, because it's like crystals. Epsom salts is like crystals. You pour in your bath. Now they have the bubble bath liquid also, which I use as well. Just to feel a little more. I don't know. I use luxurious for the word. I use that word luxurious again with the bubble bath. So I do that. And that was one that I was surprised to find. This list is not a list that I put together. I went and did some research and put some different things on a list that I compiled based off of what I saw. And Epsom salt is something that I do hands down. A lot of the things is something that I do hands down. But I didn't want to make this, I don't know, about my ways. But I see that I have a lot in common. Whoever does these lists, we have a lot in common in how to recover, which again means recovery is almost definable by certain things, if you will. And now we get to fuel, which is food. And fuel in sports is eating specific things during specific time windows to maximize performance and recovery. Kind of a sidebar. Clearly, you cannot achieve your full potential as an athlete if your nutrition is terrible. Okay, let me do that again. Fueling is eating specific things during specific time windows to maximize performance and recovery. Clearly, you cannot achieve your full potential as an athlete if your nutrition is terrible. 100%. Proper nutrition is crucial for runners at every level. Your body needs the right fuel in order to perform at its highest potential. That does not only apply to runners, that applies to every man, woman, and child walking the planet Earth. That applies to every man, woman, and child walking the planet Earth. Your body needs the right fuel in order to perform at its highest potential. Every day, we all have action-packed days, and if you eat terrible foods, you're just not going to have the energy to get through it all. It's not going to happen. We're going to break it down into 3 different categories as it pertains to runners. So every day, a diet rich in anti-inflammatory foods. For example, okay, let's do this again. A diet rich in anti-inflammatory foods like the plant-based diet, or another diet that I saw in particular was the Mediterranean diet. The Mediterranean diet. There's a few more things in there that a person can eat without being so radical. I think compared to a lot of diets, the plant-based diet is radical. The Mediterranean diet is a good starting point for runners. Based off the research that I did, it's a good starting point to begin to go on the journey to a healthier eating lifestyle. I personally would say plant-based, but just to be fair, for some people who can't go that radical, then the Mediterranean diet is also a diet that provides a wide range of nutrients, but also to help decrease inflammation and post-exercise muscle and joint pain. The diet, it actually is one of the least restrictive around emphasizing foods like fresh produce, plant-based, as well as the Mediterranean diet. Now, the Mediterranean diet also includes fish and chicken. And then nuts, whole grains, and then cheese. So fish, chicken, and cheese is the one is where these two diets are separated, because of course on a plant-based diet there's no fish, chicken, or cheese, but on the Mediterranean diet it is. And again, I think the Mediterranean diet is a good start for those people that don't want to be so radical. For me, the plant-based diet works better, but there's a little more leeway in the Mediterranean diet. So these diets are rich in these foods and free from too much processed foods. So, and processed foods, by the way, processed foods have been linked to all sorts of problems. And now we all know that. So in my opinion, a person who decreases their intake of processed food or have a strategy to how they eat. Again, you don't have to be like me and eat only plants, but if you have a strategy to how you eat, you can improve cardiovascular health and lower the risk of diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, heart disease, and even brain aging. And all these things are an epidemic in this country. Cardiovascular health is awful. Cardiovascular diseases is on the rise in America. By almost 70% of the people in our population suffer from cardiovascular disease. Diabetes, 66 to 70% of the people diagnosed or pre-diagnosed with diabetes. Type 2, which is lifestyle choices. Obesity, 70% of the population are overweight or obese. High blood pressure, heart disease. These are killing people. So a strategy to how we eat and how we make lifestyle choices are really necessary. And some of the foods in particular, walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, olive oil, antioxidants, rich leafy greens, berries, quinoa, and oats, beans and lentils are top tier foods as it pertains to proper health and proper eating. Now, again, because the Mediterranean diet also allows wild salmon and other fatty fish, I'll throw those in there. And these are things that you want to have every single day. This is a kind of an outline of what to eat every day. On long run days, carbs are truly some of the best foods for runners. You want to carb up. This is based on the information that I researched, and also this is, I've heard this a lot. You hear this a lot in the runner's world. Carbs are very good. Now that doesn't mean you want to just swallow down all the pizza and pasta you find, but you will need that pure energy when done the right way. Carb loading can maximize your glycogen storage, which is critical for lengthy runs, for the long runs. That's like one of the best forms of energy, the glycogen is. So start carb loading 2 or 3 days ahead of your long run, especially if it happens to be a marathon. About 80% of your calories should come from carbs. So these long runs are fueled by carbs. This is the best recipe to be able to refer to for your body to refer to and to get energy to carry you through those runs, especially at the marathon distance. If you plan on working out longer than 1 hour, the doctor, she suggests that a balanced meal 2 to 3 hours beforehand, things like oatmeal, easy to digest fruits, bread, rice, or pasta, and also try to avoid foods high in fat on these longer runs, cheese, butter, stuff like that, it takes longer to digest and keeps the carb. It takes longer to digest, and it takes longer to use for energy. It takes longer to use for energy. Now, you can keep your carbs interesting and add some sources of protein like peanut butter or hummus and things like that. That helps. And coffee, and other forms of protein may also help improve your performance up to 12% on endurance days. Now, that doesn't mean to get carried away with the coffee, because coffee it can also have a laxative effect. And I think we all know that if you drink coffee, you know, if you bug out, it could be not as good. It could be not as good. Like it could work against you. In other words, it could work against you. Bananas, like on day now sprint days where you're moving relatively fast. Tempo days, threshold days, bananas, pineapples, rice cakes with peanut butter on top. Try to eat these things about 30 minutes before the workout, and you should be fine. You don't need to carb load on sprint days because you're not running these long runs. So bananas, pineapples, rice cakes, and topped with peanut butter. These are examples. If you're eating 3 to 4 hours more before you work out, you can eat something more sustainable. Whole grains, pasta, brown rice, oatmeal, stuff like that. Things a little heavier, but that's before you work out. And then after the post workout, this is big, and I'm going to close with this. It's important to replenish your body with carbohydrates and proteins within an hour after a long workout. If you can't eat a full meal right after you work out, have a snack right away and then a full meal within 2 to 3 hours. Refueling quickly after you run is especially key post-endurance workouts to restore all the glycogen you burn through, and your muscles are more capable of rebuilding 30 minutes after a workout. This will only reduce the chances of muscle soreness and stiffness, so that at the very least, keep a snack on hand. And to wrap it up, this is the fuel. The fuel we could have did a full hour on the fuel alone. At the end of the day, be strategic in how you eat. Be strategic in how you eat. That's whether you are in sport or not. You got to be strategic in how you eat. You can't eat anything. Be careful with processed foods. Processed foods are filled with a lot of different stuff. Hormones, steroids, sodium, preservatives, all the things that kind of bust your body down, break your body down, and they're just not great for your body, and certainly won't enhance your performance. It will do nothing for your recovery, and it's not good fuel. It's equivalent to putting bad fuel in a really good car. Like you have a really nice car and you buy the cheapest gas from the cheapest place that you can buy gas, and it's going to eventually have an impact on the performance of your vehicle, of your car. So it's not really great to put cheap fuel in your really nice car, your body, as it pertains to performance and recovery. So that's it for me. Performance, recovery, and fuel, episode number 27 of the iRun the City podcast. Follow me on Instagram at Pario333. Go and subscribe to my Facebook page, Pario333, and my blog website, Pario333.com. And don't forget to eat plants, keep running, and be still. I'm out.